Welcome to Blueprints Unsealed, a series of reflections and thought depicting the life and times of society's most influential people, ideas, and culture. What if NASA discovered the terrible revelation about the sun? Do you think they would share this information with the general public? The truth is, scientists has been tracking weird space anomalies for decades, and we are learning that the sun may not be as stable as we once thought. It may come as no surprise that we are experiencing some of the most strangest weather phenomena in recorded history, and at the same time, the government is preparing for the apocalypse. Experts believe the sun has another 10 billion years before it will reach the end of its life. However, could the end of days be sooner than we thought? Making matters even more strange, astronomers are noticing other nearby stars acting oddly, and they are sounding the alarm. Back in 2012, many people feared the world was going to end on December the 21st. This prediction was based on the Mayan calendar and it marked the end of a cycle. Obviously, the world did not cease to exist, but perhaps the next logical question is why not? Consider that the Mayans were a group of extraordinary and accomplished people. Their knowledge of the universe was so advanced that they were able to predict astronomical events for more than 5,000 years into the future. Scientists today are still baffled on how precise their predictions were. What's interesting is that scholars did find ancient Mayan tablets that mention the world coming to an end. However, these ancient glyphs that contains that information were partially damaged. Therefore, it became a guessing game on when that particular date is expected to occur. Some interpretations of this tablet indicates that a god will descend at the end of the cycle, which I believe is referring to their most powerful sun god. Today, many people believe that this was their way of saying that we can expect some type of sun cataclysm to occur at the end of the cycle. Is it possible that we got the date wrong? Could 2012 really have been intended as 2021? Of course, some researchers are skeptical of this interpretation. Some also were quick to point out that even if the Mayans did attempt to predict when the world would end, they didn't see their own collapse coming or the Spanish conquest coming as well. However, this logic is unfounded, since scientists are able to predict astronomical events with great precision, since things in space take a great deal of time in order for the effects to reveal itself. However, predicting worldly events is much harder because there are just too many variables to consider, and the slightest change in circumstance can result in dramatic outcome of how things may play out. In fact, there's a chance that the Mayans had knowledge of something sinister lurking in the universe, but that information may be hidden from observation in modern times, only to be revealed again when the object is in close proximity and past the point where we can actually do something about it. For the past decade, scientists has been observing strange sun activities or phenomena that cannot be explained, a perplexing mystery where the atmosphere of the sun, called the corona, has measured to be over 300 times more than the temperature of the sun's surface. This is concerning. Normally, when you move away from a hot source, the environment gets cooler, but some mechanism is clearly at work in the solar atmosphere to bring the temperatures up so high. Why is this so alarming? It has everything to do with the magnetic solar cycle, which occurs every 11 years. During an active solar cycle, the sun can emit large bursts of radioactive energy directly into the Earth's atmosphere. Normally, the Earth's magnetic field can shield us from this harm, but depending on the intensity, it can penetrate all of Earth's protection. In fact, solar flares has been linked to an increase in the risk of cancer. Scientists has classified these solar activities based on its potency, where in X class flares are the most strongest. Just so happened that we experienced an X1 class solar flare as recently as July 3rd of this year, with reports of radio blackouts. However, scientists are counting down for the reoccurrence of something even more devastating. Some may be familiar with the Carrington event. This was a powerful geomagnetic storm that was recorded in 1859. A solar coronal mass ejection, or CME, hit Earth's magnetosphere and induced the largest geomagnetic storm on record. The associated white light flare in the solar photosphere was observed and recorded by British astronomers Richard Carrington and Richard Hodgson. The storm caused strong auroral displays seen from parts of the USA, Europe, and even as far as Japan, and it caused serious damage to telegraph systems. A solar storm of this magnitude occurring today would cause widespread electrical disruptions, blackouts, and damage due to extended outages of the electrical grid. The solar storm of 2012 was of a similar magnitude, but it passed Earth's orbit without striking the planet, missing by 9 days. On a recent trip from the East Coast to the South, I noticed something very peculiar going on. It appeared that many trees were displaying symptoms of leaf burn or dried up leaves. However, the effects was only noticeable on one side of the trees. I remember thinking to myself, here we are in the middle of the summer, but yet these trees gives off the impression of the fall. About a week later, the east coast of the US was covered in a deep smoke haze, which was caused by forest fires in the west coast. This phenomenon also occurred last year. Scientists are alarmed that the rate of these occurrences are increasing. Although it is common for smoke to reach large distances, what is less common is that both of these events has been impacting the surface air quality from such vast distances, as the smoke has spilled into the sky. Several cities have been under air quality alerts this week, including New York. Air quality reached a code red level that signals air that can be unhealthy for everyone. In Washington and Baltimore, as well as in much of North Carolina, code orange air quality alerts was issued for Wednesday, meaning the air was unhealthy for sensitive groups. Officials warned the wildfire smoke will increase the level of fine particles in the air. So, what is causing these massive fires? Could it be global warming? It's more like global burning, and researchers are showing that the uptick in these forest fires can be linked to solar outbursts. And according to experts, these solar activities is just starting to peak. What happens to a star before it dies? The truth is, no one really knows because we have limited ability to examine stars close up. The best we can do is examine photos before and after a star explodes. Given the vast distances between objects in the universe, these images don't provide any real detail as to what is taking place before the star explodes. However, we can speculate that before anything dies, there's always some telltale signs, and it becomes a matter of recognizing what those signs are. In 2013, astronomers were expecting for the sun to enter a stretch of high activity, but that did not occur, and it left scientists confused. According to a NASA scientist, solar activities are becoming unpredictable because they are no longer occurring or behaving as they did in the past. Strangely enough, they have also noticed strange anomalies with some of the nearest stars. For instance, the star Betelgeuse went through a dramatic dimming period just a few years ago. It went from being a very bright star to barely noticeable. Even though reports showed the stars becoming brighter, many astronomy hobbyists are saying there's something still off about this star. According to a new analysis of the Gaia satellite data, the closest star cluster to our solar system is currently being torn apart, disrupted not just by normal processes, but also by the gravitational pull of something massive and we can't see it. Researchers observed strange flashes or outbursts from AG Draconis, another nearby star system. Not only was the flashes unexpected, it occurred 2 weeks after the first one was detected. Similar to our solar cycle, scientists are noticing that they are having issues predicting AG Draconis solar cycle. This really makes you think if there's some type of pending doom that is lurking. On July 13 of this year, NASA space instruments detected a powerful explosion on the far side of the sun. In other words, the side of the sun that faces away from Earth. The event was so powerful, we felt the explosion here on Earth. In fact, when this event first unfolded, scientists had originally thought that energy from the sun was headed straight towards Earth. which only left scientists puzzled to learn that it was actually headed in the opposite direction. But it still managed to pepper Earth with high-energy particles. As stated earlier, normally the Earth's magnetic field will protect the atmosphere from such events. However, a recent scientific study showed in an area stretching from Africa to South America, Earth's magnetic field is gradually weakening. This strange behavior has geophysicists puzzled and is causing technical disturbances in satellites orbiting Earth. So what is the US government response to what is going on? For starters, the looming threat of extreme space phenomena has FEMA preparing for the perfect solar storm, and an unimaginable power grid disaster is what the Freedom of Information Act documents reveal. Also, in the event of an extreme natural disaster, experts suggest that living underground will provide the best protection against the natural elements. Perhaps this is the reason why many people all across the US and even the world are reporting these mystery booms. Some have speculated that these underground booms may be connected to underground cities that the government is currently constructing in preparation for that fateful day disaster strikes. Thanks for watching. Please consider supporting the channel by hitting the like button and subscribing.